Hey, this is Arvin. On today's episode of Driven to Draw, I am going to show you how to take two-dimensional shapes with a silhouette and populating them with details. So let's get started. Okay, in this segment we're going to be talking about creating details from two-dimensional shapes. And in this process, what I'm going to be outlining is how do we take these basic shapes like these rectangular shapes or triangular shapes, kind of creating something that's a little bit different, and then suddenly populating this with some sort of detail just from a 2D perspective. So I'm going to start with just creating some simple shapes. And all of these are random. You don't have to have anything in particular in your head. In fact, one thing that might be good is to just look at some reference material. Go out there and look at some architecture, some buildings, and see what it is that you see. And try to manipulate some of those shapes and create something out of your imagination. And that's kind of key for this step because you don't know what you don't know, right? So sometimes it just takes to get the creative juices flowing. You might have to look at some other images in order for you to create something that is completely new. And that's what I'm doing here. I might take something that's kind of like a shape of a lipstick or any other kind of found objects. It doesn't really matter. And just start to just put those things down on paper and experiment. And that's what this is all about. It's just to just explore shapes and just see what you can do with them from a 2D perspective. So I've got here just a collection of random shapes, and like I mentioned before, sometimes just taking a found object. I've got this little hockey puck, this little light, LED light, and I thought, hey, why don't we just use that as a sort of a shape, and maybe we can add some details to that and see if we can create something interesting. So I'm just going to draw that in 2D. I'm going to put just a separation here of the part, which is your parting line. And then I'm just going to add some other details, or maybe this is some sort of a tower. You see one of those rotating restaurants or something. But maybe it can be something like that. I don't know. But I'm just going to add a little bit of a base here to it. So as you see, I'm taking elements of that particular design and then I'm just adding something on my own. Alright, so what else can we populate this with? I'm going to start adding some windows. So just start dropping some vertical lines. I'm going to start speeding up the video so we don't have to watch me go through this and be too slow about it. And some of the stuff, I don't even know. I'm not sure what it is I'm going to do with it and how I'm going to treat it, but so that's the basic technique here is first get the two-dimensional shape and then start adding your objects, or just start adding the detail from things that you already see or things that you already know, and just replicate that, just populate that, and once you do that, like I said, in 2D, that intimidation of trying to create something in 3D is gone. You don't have to worry about it. Now all you have to worry about is just concentrating on the two-dimensional shape. Now let's go to the next one. Now everything doesn't have to be perfect. Don't look for perfection, because these shapes that I'm creating here, they're far from perfect. I mean, I don't even know what this is, and this looks really weird. It almost looks maybe like a I don't know, some sort of a perfume bottle or something, and now I'm just gonna add windows or something to it. So it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't have to, because This is how you find some, or you create these happy accidents, because you don't know what you don't know when you're creating something. You know, most of the time they're not going to look good, and then you got to just pick the one that looks the most interesting and then try to three-dimensionalize it. When I get to this stage, I'm just going to drop some vertical lines and then just add some curves here. So again, I mean, you just have to experiment. Just put in some random shapes or whatever it is that you can think of. I'm not thinking of anything in particular. In fact, I don't really care much for this particular shape, but you know, think about it as just sort of a nice creative exercise, so to speak, right? You're just kind of texturizing it and adding all these little details into a two-dimensional shape. Just gonna go back here and add a little bit more details on this one, and there we have it. I don't think we need to finish the other ones, but here are some other random shapes that I've populated and texturized, kind of a stone effect. Some of these other ones I've just taken the liberty of adding some trees and stuff. So that's sort of the gist of it, of this exercise. Now, this particular module is from my course, Introduction to One-Point Perspective. So if you are interested in understanding one-point perspective and how to start with just fundamentals and basics, and then slowly start to three-dimensionalize very simple forms and then start adding details, this is just one module out of the entire course. If you want to learn a little bit more about the course, feel free to just click on the link below. There's a short video that gives you a description and what is included in the course. And if you just want to sign up for updates, you can go ahead and do so. So we'll see you here next time on Driven to Draw next week.